Footage released of the rescue in White River, the officers who saved one young woman from drowning.
Plus, one local farm working to educate others how they're trying to harvest change.
Plus, a new age group could roll up their sleeves soon, how early you could see this new vaccine.
One major corporation mandating vaccines for its U.S. workforce when the mandate will be put into effect.
We do have some cold temperatures for tonight, but we do have a warm-up on the way. I have all those details coming up.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
What you're looking at now is body cam footage released this week by Muncie police saving a woman who drove into the White River. The woman being saved, a Ball State student. Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Anna Chalker.
And I'm Alex Almanza.
We are joined tonight by NewsLink Indiana's Avery Johnson, who's been following this story and spoke with Muncie police officers who saved her.
Right, Muncie officers got a call around 1:30 Sunday morning from the young woman saying that she was trapped inside of her car in the river. Take a listen.
I'm in the White River, and my car doors won't open. I don't know what happened. I think my eyes went licked or something, and I'm in the river and I can't get out.
Okay, your door won't open?
No, it won't open. I can't get out.
It's after that call, MPD responded to the scene. The White River. It looks like a calm river now, but that was not the case early Sunday morning when a woman dialed 911.
19, we got it. It's on the south side of the bridge.
Officer Casey Bell was the first to arrive on scene and jump into the water, knowing that there was no time to spare.
I could hear her screaming when I got down to the bottom of the river, to the bank of the river. She was screaming. It sounded really frantic, probably scared. So I just took off all my gear and jumped into the river.
Sergeant Gregory Skaggs was also on the scene.
I couldn't bear the thought of losing somebody on my watch and me feeling like I have a direct effect on how this outcome will be, and I wanted to make sure that I gave everything I could.
And this wasn't the first river rescue for Sergeant James Lennox over his 18 years of service, but he says this rescue was the most emotional for him.
It brought back memories of when my youngest daughter was 2, she about drowned. And the feeling of helplessness. You can't get in there. I'm thinking somebody's in there. I can't get them out. And Sergeant Skaggs volunteered to go in to try and alleviate that.
Wow, and of course, listening to that audio, it really just sends shivers. But you know, of course, incident like that's very traumatic. But we're glad that the driver is okay.
Yeah, and of course, a big thank you to our heroic police officers in Muncie for saving a life that evening. So
yes, of course, Avery, thank you. In Westwind, Farm and Fiber is a family-owned business that's been running for 3 years. NewsLink Indiana's Angelica Gonzalez shows us how customers get to interact with a variety of animals that were born and raised on the farm.
Faces, getting to see animals, close interactions with, holding bunnies, getting to walk goats and sheep around, getting to see alpacas, ducks, chickens.
Although the farm features a variety of animals, a favorite of the Eller family is teaching visitors how to produce wool and fleece.
Sheep and alpaca, the fleeces from that. My wife Kylie processes all those right here on the farm, so they can come out and see what it starts coming off the sheep, and then a final result being.
The wool and fleece that is processed at the farm is able to be purchased in the gift shop. It's turned into hats, scarves, and even do-it-yourself kits for people that are more interested in the process. Customer Morgan Strauss shared why she decided to come out and visit Westwind Farm and Fiber for the first time.
Organic and natural we can get, the better, and I like teaching the kids about using things maybe in a different way than rather just go buy it, how to make your own thing.
The Eller family noticed new customers coming in every weekend. They enjoy being a nice local business for people in Muncie to come and visit.
To build that education for the kids that they don't get as much now. So that's really a big thing of what we want to do.
In Muncie, Angelica Gonzalez, NewsLink Indiana.
West Wind Farm and Fiber will host one last event for the year on November 19th and 20th for the Lumiere Festival. Customers are able to purchase gifts, shop, and give one last greeting to the animals before the season ends. And I feel like today was a little cold to be going to a farm.
Yeah, well, I think I've gotten used to the temperatures. You
Yes.
might see me at one now.
Yeah, I know. The wool from those sheep are definitely going to help that issue. Ryan, are we going to be needing that here coming up?
Well, not so fast in the cold weather. Yes, we did have some cold weather today. Temperatures got down there in the 20s this morning. But we do have some good news here. We see temperatures going to be rebounding, and we have more of that on my full forecast. But right now for tonight, we're going to see temperatures actually drop down to 28 degrees as we go through the overnight hours. It will eventually get lower as we go through the night as well. Now, coming up in my full forecast, you're going to see those sunny skies continue. And we also have those dry conditions. And, of course, 60s, yes, 60s return. I have all those details coming up.
The Indiana Department of Health announcing COVID-19 vaccination appointments for Hoosiers ages 5 to 11 can now be scheduled. The Pfizer vaccine is the only shot authorized for the use of ages 18 and under. A parent or guardian needs to provide consent for the vaccine, and children under 16 must be accompanied by an adult. You can book your child's appointment by visiting www.ourshot.in.gov or by calling 866-211-9966. Locations carrying the dose for children ages 5 to 11 are designated by a pin on the Our Shot online map.
And a different age could soon make their appointments. Vaccines for children under 5 are now on the way, with the U.S. General Surgeon saying that they could be available as early as 2022. Pfizer and BioNTech are both testing shots for the age group, plus phase 2 and 3 for children as young as 6 months to 5 years old are underway.
The trials for kids under 5 have been underway, and we anticipate that in early 2022 is when we may see a vaccine available for kids in that range.
And the federal government laying out a new timeline for certain vaccine mandates to be implemented. The new rules impacting more than 100 million workers across the country. It sets a January 4th deadline for employees of large corporations to be fully vaccinated. Employees need either 2 doses of Pfizer or Moderna or 1 dose of Johnson & Johnson by that date. While the mandates are facing some pushback, many health experts say it's a critical tool to protect workers and bring an end to the pandemic.
The most disruptive thing in a workforce is to have a COVID outbreak.
Safety and Health Administration says companies that fail to comply could face penalties up to $14,000 per violation.
Moderna warns shipments of its COVID-19 vaccine will fall short of expectations. The pharmaceutical company says it's dealing with production and shipment issues. Moderna now expects to ship between 700 million and 800 million vaccine doses instead of the original 800 million to 1 billion doses originally forecasted. The company says some deliveries could be pushed back to 2022, especially those for exports going overseas. They plan to give priority to low-income countries.
Ford is mandating its 32,000 salaried workers in the U.S. to get vaccinated against COVID-19 by December 8th. The move makes Ford the first among the big 3 U.S. automakers to mandate vaccines for its U.S. workforce. Ford says workers who don't comply will be put on paid leave for up to 30 days, after which their job protections end. The company will consider religious and medical exceptions. Workers represented by unions will not fall under the mandate right away because of federal and collective bargaining requirements. Ford's mandate complies with President Biden's vaccine requirement for federal contractors.
An update to the Rittenhour trial, an eyewitness providing key testimony.
And the U.S. State Department offering a $10 million reward. What information they're looking for next.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitts will take you there.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
An eyewitness who tried to provide first aid to one of the people fatally shot by Kyle Rittenhouse provided key testimony today.
Richie McGinnis testified that he first saw Rittenhouse running with his AR-15 rifle later. Later, he saw Rittenhouse point the rifle at Joseph Rosenbaum, who he described as lunging at the weapon. Then, McGinnis said that he tried plugging Rosenbaum's wound with his shirt and helped bring him to the hospital.
I helped some medical personnel came out with a gurney, and then I helped them load him onto the gurney, and then they took him into the hospital.
Prosecutors accused Rittenhouse of having fired 4 shots at Rosenbaum, who was unarmed. Rosenbaum later died of his wounds at the hospital.
While the FAA cannot arrest unruly airline passengers, the U.S. Justice Department can. Now both federal agencies are joining forces to put the most serious offenders behind bars. For the first time, the Federal Aviation Administration says it has sent the case of more than 3 dozen unruly passengers to the Department of Justice, and they could face up to 20 years in jail. Flight crews have reported 5,033 unruly incidents this year alone, with the FAA initiating enforcement in 227 cases. Now it is asking prosecutors to put 37 of those passengers behind bars. The FAA says it has no tolerance for passengers who throw punches and shut down flight crews. And FAA Chief Steve Dixon says more federal investigators are meeting flights at the gate.
The U.S. State Department announcing a $10 million reward for information on the hackers who forced a major U.S. fuel operator to shut down in May. The ransomware attack on Colonial Pipeline caused widespread disruptions, forcing the fuel operator to temporarily shut down the 5,500-mile pipeline that carries 45% of the fuel used on the East Coast. Authorities are looking for information that leads to the identification or location of senior members of the Russian-speaking ransomware gang responsible for the attack. The $5 million reward is also being offered for information that leads to the arrest or conviction of anyone who conspires to participate in a hack involving the so-called dark side ransomware.
A government report shows the U.S. trade deficit jumped a record high in September. According to the Commerce Department, the trade gap surged to $80.9 billion. Exports point to the global supply chain crisis as largely the problem. American companies are scrambling to find parts and goods to build their products. Exports tumbled 3% in September, and industrial supplies also fell. This as import prices surged due to demand of outweighing supply.
OPEC and its allies are disregarding President Joe Biden's call to produce more oil in his effort to ease soaring energy prices. The coalition decided to stick to its plan to gradually increase production, saying it will increase output by only 400,000 barrels per day next month. OPEC and its partners are facing calls from the U.S. and other major energy consumers to open the taps wider to help bring global prices down. During the climate summit in Scotland, Biden called out Russia and the OPEC nations, saying rising gas prices are a consequence of their refusal to pump more oil. OPEC members produce about 40% of the world's crude oil.
CDC is warning doctors to be on the lookout for a rare tropical disease connected to an aromatherapy spray sold at Walmart. The Better Home and Gardens aromatherapy room spray with gemstones is already connected to a death in Georgia. Now cases are popping up in Minnesota and Texas. The CDC issued a new alert for healthcare professionals to be aware of the potential symptoms of exposure. Consumers are urged to immediately stop using the spray, double bag it, and return it to Walmart for a full refund. Now transitioning over to weather. I know it's pretty chilly, but I heard there's a warm-up coming. Ryan, let's see what we got.
Yes, we do have a warm-up on the way, but we're going to have to wait till next week. I have all those details coming up after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward. Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back, everybody. This is weather forecaster Ryan Crump. You like cold temperatures? Well, you better enjoy it while you can, because look, 48 degrees was our high, but it was actually 58 degrees is our average, and that was 10 degrees below our average for today, for this time of the year. 80 degrees, which was a record high back in 1898. But if we look at these temperatures right now, we are starting to drop into those 30s right now. 33 degrees here in South Bend, 36 degrees in Muncie, 40 degrees in Indianapolis at the south. So temperatures are beginning to drop. You will also see that for our next 8 hours as well. As you see that our temperatures are going to be in the 30s. We are going to eventually drop down into those 20s as we go through the night tonight as well. Now you want to take a look at that radar. Now we're looking at the fact that we are clear. We have some passing clouds right now, but that will begin to dissipate, which will allow those temperatures to drop off. And you also see that it's due to this high pressure that's sitting around our area, pretty much south of our areas. And this cold front was pretty much bringing us all that cold air as well. That's even got as far south as the Gulf Coast, and that brings some cool air even down to them as well. Now for tonight, we're going to see clear skies, a low of 26 degrees, and winds will be calm at this time, which allows those temperatures to drop off. Waking up tomorrow morning when you go to class, you're going to see that those temperatures are going to be around 33 degrees at 9 o'clock. We're only going to warm up to 51 degrees. Now that's going to be a beginning of a warming trend that you're going to see here as you go take a look at this temperature trend here. 51 degrees tomorrow, but then we actually gradually warm up to about 64 degrees on Monday, and we're going to stay in the 60s on Tuesday as well, which is a few degrees above our average, which is only 58 degrees at this time, as we constantly continue to drop as we go through the month of November. Now, speaking of which, being above average, we're going to be above average for pretty much most of the country here. The only the southeast having to have that area where it's not going to be above average. Even out west, you're going to see above average temperatures as well as we go through the course of next week. This weekend should be pretty nice. Should be dry. 54 degrees will be our high, and we're going to see 58 degrees on Sunday. Both days going to be mostly sunny skies. Pretty much a flawless day. Go out there and take your walk. Now, take a look at the next 3 weeks from now. Thanksgiving, I know everybody's looking forward to that. 21 days away from Thanksgiving. I can't wait for it. That's turkey and dressing. But I also can't wait for these warm temperatures as well to come in our area as well. As you see, it's going to start out cool, but then we're going to go into the 64 degrees on Monday, 61 degrees on Tuesday, and we're going to be in the 60s for most of the week. Now you see there, as you might have noticed, we're dry. Yes, we're dry right now, but we don't have no really rain coming into our area until late next week. That's when the temperatures also begin to drop off as well. So I looked a little bit further ahead. We do see those 40s coming back later on in the weekend next week. But for right now, we're going to enjoy those 60s coming into our area next week.
I think we're both going to enjoy those 60s.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that's
a nice week.
Yes, I'm going to enjoy it definitely. Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you, Ryan. And Zach, let's send it over to you for sports.
Thanks, guys. One Ball State faculty member receiving an exciting award, and another Ball State team ready to tip off their season. Find out who next in sports.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Zach Greer with sports. Ball State Athletic Director Beth Getz earning a unique kind of award. NewsLink Indiana's Joey Moore spoke with the director on her accomplishment.
Many of the women that were recognized that day are doing incredible things here in Indiana, and it was certainly a privilege to be included in that group.
Beth Getz was named to the Indianapolis Business Journal's Women of Influence list for 2021. And a big factor in winning the award, her impact as the athletic director of Ball State.
But you know, we just came off our most successful competitive year that we've had as a department in over a decade.
Ball State athletics seeing a lot of recent success under Director Getz, such as the football team taking the MAC championship last season, or volleyball coach Kelly Miller Phillips reaching her 100th win this season. But not only have the Cardinals been succeeding athletically, but also excelling academically in the classroom.
And have broken every academic accolade record that we've had here. So it's been exciting to be able to see that success, and you know, it's not just a snapshot in time. It's been work and a commitment from all of our coaches and staff across campus.
And Getz crediting a lot of her accomplishments to her staff here at Ball State.
But really what is so meaningful to me is it's not a recognition of what I've done, but really of the great team that I have an opportunity to work with here, certainly in athletics, but all across campus.
And if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Getz plans to stay focused on her team goals and maintain her department's success.
Stay focused on what our goals here are each and every day, executing our strategic plan and making sure we provide a great experience to our student athletes and serve the institution as best we can.
In Muncie, Joey Moore, NewsLink Indiana.
Taking things over to the pitch with the Mid-American Conference announcing all-conference soccer teams. And guess what? The Cardinals were well represented. Ball State women's soccer landing 3 athletes to all-conference, making her 3rd all-conference appearance, Nikki Potts as a midfielder being named 2nd team. The redshirt senior finishing 3rd in the team scoring, punching in 6 points on 2 goals this season. Graduate student Emily Simmons also earning her 3rd all-conference title as a defender, finding herself on the 2nd team. And finally, Lexi Fraley finishing the season with 2 goals and a .455 shot on goal percentage, earning her an all-freshman team ranking. Now let's take things over to the hardwood. Last night, Ball State men's basketball back in action in an exhibition matchup taking on Division II opponent in the Michigan Tech Huskies. Michigan Tech coming off an Elite 8 run in the Division II tournament and looking to give the Cardinals a run for their money. The two squads each finding their grooves as the Huskies hit a 3-ball and Ball State able to capitalize off of turnovers. After being down double digits, the Cardinals able to storm back within striking distance in the final seconds, but fall short to Michigan Tech 69-70. And guys, I don't know about you, I'm a big basketball fan, so I'm really excited for this season for Ball State.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be a pretty great season. Zach, thank you. Yes, Zach, thank you.
Thanks, Zach. We'll take a look at what's trending after the break. Stay with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Time for us to take a look at what's trending.
Joining us now is NewsLink Indiana's Scout Wampler. Scout, what do you got for us?
It's time to finish up that Halloween candy. November 4th is National Candy Day. In the late 13th century, Middle English first began using the word candy, borrowed from the Old French kukra kandi, and it's derived in turn from Persian quand and quandi cane sugar. By the 18th century, the first candy likely came to America from Britain and France. With 4 days after Halloween, you should have leftover candy, or you can sneak some from the kids' stash to celebrate. $38,000. That's how much a pair of Kobe Bryant sneakers are expected to bring at an upcoming auction. The black, white, and gold Nike Air Zoom Huarache 2K4 basketball sneakers are considered Bryant's first pair of Nikes. The NBA icon wore them in 2004 during the Los Angeles Lakers' victory over the LA Clippers. Bryant scored 27 points and had 9 rebounds and 6 assists in the game. Sotheby's will hold the auction on November 11th. Those are some expensive shoes.
Yes, they are. And Scout, thank you. And Ryan, let's get one final check at the weather.
Well, those were expensive shoes, but you know, you will like also the 7-day forecast. 60s are returning to our areas as we see next week after a cold week this week.
Ryan, thank you. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join our sister show, Waking Up with Cardinal Weather, streaming live at 8 a.m. on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.